Alright. Let's go to America.
Moving to America, I got my bags packed. What's in your bag? Freddy Dread, I need that. Is that what I think it is? Yeah, bitch, what it do? I know you want this, but you can't use a fucking fool. Moving to America, I got my bags packed. What's in your bag? Freddy Dread, I need that. Is that what I think it is? Yeah, bitch, what it do? I know you want this, but you can't use a fucking man.
Hi. Can you tell I'm still jet-lagged? Cause I'm still jet-lagged. Hello, my name is B.A.K.A, and this year I had the pleasure of finally meeting all of my friends at this year's Anime Expo 2022 in Los Angeles, California. In this video, I'm gonna do like an old-fashioned commentary video with some footage sprinkled in that just kind of explains the whole trip. It was really fun, but spoiler alert, I fucking hate LA. Not only was this my first time in LA, it was my first time in America. Full stop. So I'm hoping that I'm starting at the bad end and I can work my way forward in future trips to better places. As you saw in from the intro, the first day was like the longest day I have ever been awake since I was like a teenager. My flight was at 9 AM, so we had to travel from my house like 3 hours down to the fucking airport, getting in there, getting on the flight. I flew with British Airways, which is pretty good because they give you good stuff even if you fly in economy, like complimentary drinks on the house, which is, you know, pretty fun. But here's the funny thing. It was an 11-hour flight and I got no sleep. Because like every stereotypical flight, I had a kid behind me fucking kicking my seat the whole way. So when I landed, I was already like miserable. Miserable, to say the least. But after like 2 hours of sitting in passport control, I managed to get through LAX, managed to get around, and managed to meet my friends, or at least some of them, for the first time in years.
Been LA 30 minutes. Cut my finger. L.
So we hung around LAX for a bit, trying to figure out where the hell to go. I took in all the sights, like the amazing billboards.
Hi, I'm Saul Goodman. Did you know that you have rights?
And eventually we found where the Ubers are, and we grabbed an Uber, which, by the way, I have never taken an Uber in my life until this trip. And I feel like I've taken 100 in the span of a week. It's ridiculous. And we were off, and we got to our Airbnb, which was in a little city that's part of Los Angeles called Inglewood. Yeah, I probably should have done some research on where, what, and how Inglewood works, because ghetto as shit is probably the word I would use to describe it. And so the house we were staying at, it was supposed to fit like 4, maybe 5 people, and there were 11 of us staying there, and also there was no AC. So the first port of call, even though I was tired, we managed to hop in the convertible, drive around LA looking for a Costco and a Walmart, which I've never been to before, so that was an interesting experience.
America.
Yo, we got the rope, we got the minion blanket. I basically conked out for the evening because I was already done, and I managed to get to sleep at about 10 o'clock at night, but it was so fucking hot in there because I'm a pale little white boy from rural England. I'm not used to these like 30-degree temperatures when I get there, and it's like so dry. It's just so dry, dude. And so that was that. That was that for the first day of my trip. I think in the end I stayed awake for about 27 hours or something like that, so I was done. But the day afterwards, it was day 0 of the convention, or so it's called. So in the morning, we had to get there super early just to pick up all of our badges. For those who don't know, anyone who's outside of the US, AX wasn't shipping badges internationally, so we had to go there to, you know, grab all of the stuff. And it was so hot. It was like 30 degrees, which to Americans is nothing, especially in California, but to me, it was a nightmare. But after that whole shebang, we picked up the badges, we got our COVID wristbands. That was really annoying because we had to wear masks inside anyway, so what was the point? Either way, after we were done, we decided to head on over to the Santa Monica Pier, which was really fun actually. It looks identical to how it is in GTA, which I know sounds really cringe, but I was like shocked at how similar it is. There was a little arcade there on the pier that we chilled at. It was kind of cool. But we just kind of chilled around the pier, looked at the beach and all that. The main thing I did notice was that there were hills in the distance and I couldn't see them because of the smog. Bruh, LA got its render distance down. After Santa Monica, we decided that we'd head over for some dinner or something like that. So we went over to a place called Dave & Buster's, which I'd never been to before. It's like a restaurant that has an arcade adjacent to it. It was pretty cool. But the arcade was the main thing, and that was the best bit. I had a lot of fun. It was the first like big fun thing we did as a group, and it was a lot of fun. I'll give them that. Although I didn't spend any of my credits. So there's there's a Dave & Buster's card somewhere in LA right now that has like 4,000 Dave & Buster's like tickets on it. So good, let the games begin. After that, we just kind of headed home and went to sleep. It was a pretty chilled evening, and that's good because nothing could have prepared me. Nothing could have prepared anybody for day one of the convention.
It looks amazing. 350,000 people that they're expecting here over the holiday weekend.
6 a.m. we got there. 6 a.m. we got there, and we still weren't, like, early in the line. It was still, like, half a mile back already. And that was for the West Hall. That wasn't even for the South Hall, which is the main hall. Our idea was, let's get into the West Hall, skip along the convention as fast as we can to the other end where it's opening, and then we can skip all of the lines of the people trying to mush their way in through the South Hall. And it worked. We got right up to the front where the gates would open, and we had to wait there so long, it was ridiculous. But it's good that we were at the front because I got some good footage of everything that went down beforehand, the opening ceremony, if you will. They had like some drummers and some dancers. It was pretty fun. And then they opened the floodgates, and I kid you not, I was taken off my feet. I'm kind of short, I'm like 5'9", 5'10", and so I was like taken off my feet by all these people around me, just like crushing, and it just picked me up by my shoulders, and I glided up the stair. When we got into the convention, I like darted straight across to the other side of the exhibit hall so I could check stuff out without having to worry about the crowd for a short amount of time. And that was nice. I got to walk around the convention a bit on the other end of the exhibit hall with no one about. It was quite fun, but it filled up very quickly, and I mean, it filled up very quickly. In fact, it filled up so much that if you were looking at Twitter during the event, you'd see that the fire marshal stopped letting people in because it was causing a fire hazard. So that was kind of funny. I've been to conventions before. I've been to, like, you know, my MCM Comic-Con in London. I've done that a couple times. Some of you have even met me there and have taken photos way back in the day. This is when I had way more clout than I do now. But this was on a different level compared to what I'm used to. Anything fun, you had to wait in line that stretched around the booth, like, for an hour. Don't even get me started on the HoloLive booth, dude. I didn't even go there. I'm an ADHD Andy. Do I look like I have time for a 3-hour line? So after a couple hours of just walking around and shit and doing all this cool stuff, we decided to call it quits for the day because it was just far too busy, and we decided to, you know, get the hell out of there. And honestly, that was pretty much it for day one. Pretty uneventful. We got some sleep. We got up the next morning, and I decided to lay in a little bit, which was a mistake, because one, I had to take an Uber with some other guys because everyone else had already left, and we got there, and yeah, the line was way fucking longer, because my thought process was, a lot of people are going to go there on the first day, and they're not going to go the second day, so it's going to be a lot easier. No, it always sucked. To be fair, the wait wasn't too long, because everyone was filing into the halls and stuff, but it was pretty chill on day two, I'm not gonna lie. On day two, I decided to split away from my main group and joined a bunch of the other guys that were in a different friend group that I was already planning on meeting while we were at the convention, and I'm going to be staying with them for the second half of the trip, but we'll get to that later. These guys are part of a different group that people who watch this channel are probably more familiar with. They're people who are usually in the more modern Weebs plays, etc. and all of that. That's this kind of group. I tried looking for clips that have people that are part of this group in them, but I couldn't really find any. The only one I could find was from Jason.
Jason, you fucked your mic again.
What? Wait, hold on. Let me reset it.
Alright, better?
But it was cool to meet them at convention. We had to go around. We went to the entertainment hall, which I hadn't been to yet. We chilled out there, played some Guilty Gear. I suck at Guilty Gear, by the way. I can't play fighting games for the life of me. They also had the Project Melody Lamborghini there, which was kind of cool. I hadn't seen that before, and it was eye-opening. After day 2 was finished, me and Sino decided to meet up with this second friend group I've been talking about and stay at their hotel instead. And it just so happened that night they were all planning to go to and had a spare ticket for this thing called Mogul Money, which is an event that was separate from AX, that was happening outside of it. If you watch a lot of Twitch, you probably know what it is. It's one of these like Ludwig game shows that he was doing, and he was doing it live for the first time at the YouTube theater. And so we got to go there, and in all honesty, this was the most fun thing on the trip. Seeing all these streamers I'd watched for years, like Pokimane, XQC, all of these others, Saikuno, seeing them up on stage in person was actually really dope.
A massage, the massage itself, yes. I owe you a massage here and a massage, yeah.
In fact, I was even caught on camera a couple times.
Wait! New chant! Dude, proud of all of you. Dude.
We were going to stick around for the meetup, but we had a big day the next day, so we decided to just go back to the hotel. And dude, the hotel was a blessing. It had AC. It was lovely. It was in a better part of town. It was in Little Tokyo. The only downside was every single person in that hotel was having a snoring competition. And for the record, Sino is the loudest snorer ever. And then day 3 of the convention rolled around, and we hung out, and I was still hanging out with this group. We went over there and waited in line underneath the artist alley.
Killer. Are you excited for day 3?
Day 3, baby.
Whoa. I'm just here for AC now.
Because we wanted to do the artist alley first and clear out anything that was still left over. This whole trip, I was looking for stuff that was Nagatoro related. So we chilled out in artist alley for a bit, and honestly, at this point in the convention, I was really only here for the AC. 90% of my purchases on this trip from the convention was on day 3. I bought a bunch of Nagatoro stickers, a Nagatoro poster, and I also bought a $300 Megamine figurine. Goddamn massive. She's barely wearing anything, actually. We decided to leave the convention early on day 3, just so we can go back to the hotel, chill out a bit. The other guys were doing an escape room that evening, but I didn't want to be a part of that. Because, in all honesty, at this point in the trip, I was drained from LA. When you're out and about, there's just a general feeling of unease. I just didn't feel safe in that city. That's why on the Monday that came afterwards, we went back to the Weeb house at this point that was in Inglewood. We went back there, and I just chilled there the whole day. I just chilled there playing on my Switch, sorting out my bags for the flight the next day. That's just what I wanted to do, because I was just so drained at this point. I'm not a very social person. When I do social gatherings and stuff, I get drained quite quickly, and this was like a massive social thing for me, so I was already tired out by like Sunday. The funny thing that happened on the Monday, though, was that they locked themselves at the house. I got dropped off by the other group, and they were waiting on a locksmith. So the locksmith came in, cracked open the door, didn't ask us if we lived in the house or knew anybody who lived in the house, which was worrying. He just cracked open the door, took some money and left, which is very concerning. What I completely forgot, though, was that the day before I was supposed to take off was July 4th, aka Independence Day. And Inglewood apparently has a very good reputation with having the most fireworks on that day. Either way, we woke up the next morning, I got my Uber to the airport, and I chilled at the airport for like 5 hours because I got there way too early, but my flight back was a lot easier. I splashed some money and upgraded my seat, which was nice. It meant I got more leg room, got some extra amenities and stuff like that. Thankfully, I landed safely back in the UK, managed to grab my bags, and that was that. I had a lot of fun. I know I've been talking a lot of smack and I've been making some jabs here and there, but I did genuinely have a lot of fun while I was on this trip. It actually got me reflecting quite a bit, actually, on, you know, where I am as a person, etc. When you've got a lot of online friends, people like kind of talk down to you and you say like, oh, they're not real friends, they're not like, you don't know them, but I know these people now. I've met them, I've shook their hands, I've hugged them, we've hung out, we've drank together. They're real people. And it's not something I'd comprehended up until this point, that these people I know online as like names in a Discord chat are real people. Up until this point, I'd been, you know, a bit depressed about the whole YouTube thing. I don't have as much clout anymore. My views are completely tanked. Subscribers went from 22,000 to 14,000 in the span of a couple years. And I was like, my career's over, dude, I don't want to do YouTube anymore and all that. I don't like this. But after this trip, I've got a whole different mindset, and I've realized I may not have clout, but you know what I do have? Friends.
I'm feeling rough, I'm feeling wrong in the time of my life. Let's make